Hey, y'all, I'm Shane Sams, the host of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. Super excited to be back with you today to help you start, build, and grow an online business, a membership site of your very own. And we do that here at Flipped Lifestyle by doing one-on-one coaching with real members of the Flipped Lifestyle community. And I'm really excited about today's. I'm always excited. You guys know me. I'm always fired up. I'm always pumped. But today I have got an actual pro wrestler on the show. And if you know me, you know I'm a big pro wrestling fan. If you're watching this on YouTube or anywhere else where we show our video, behind me on my shelf, I have replica WWE championship belts, replica WCW belts. I've even got the $1 million belt from Ted DiBiase up on my top shelf. When I first got successful in online business, I just bought a bunch of wrestling belts because I thought it was amazing. But I do love wrestling. I love pro wrestling. It's a good escape. And my guest today is a former WWE wrestler, Brutal Bob Evans, not Bob Evans, the restaurant. We're talking to Bob Evans, the wrestler today. And Bob came into the community a few months ago and had an amazing idea. He wanted to help indie wrestlers, people who don't wrestle on television, people who wrestle at the Armory and the civic centers and the high school gyms and all around the country. There's thousands of them out there, people doing this every single weekend. And he wanted to help them to be able to get out on the road, to make a little bit of money, to have fun chasing their dream and chasing their passion while keeping their family life intact, while keeping the day job intact and having all that security. He wanted to help people really, really love their wrestling life. So he launched a membership and he's already got 30 something members paying him every single month. And we're going to help Bob today to grow that business. We're going to talk a lot about how entrepreneurs do too much in their business. We're going to show you how to take some things off your plate, how to spend less time on your business and do less things on your to-do list to get even bigger and greater results. We're going to talk about avatars today, how you can really refine your avatar. And also we're going to show you how to position your membership so you can really highlight the value proposition for your avatar and for your audience. Man, there's a little bit of wrestling talk and a whole lot of online business talk on today's Flip Lifestyle Podcast. Had an amazing time talking to my new friend, Brutal Bob Evans, and I know you're going to get a lot. Don't you turn this off just because you're not a wrestling fan. It's not all wrestling here. We're talking about online business and membership websites, and I know you're going to learn a lot from today's show. So wherever you are, if you're in your car, if you're on a treadmill, if you're taking a walk, I don't know what you're doing today. Maybe you're cooking lunch or cooking dinner. Thank you so much for listening to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast. I'll be back with a couple announcements after my interview with Bob. You go enjoy the show. Welcome to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again today. Super excited to talk to another member of the Flipped Lifestyle community, and we're going to help them take their online dream to the next level. And I am pumped about this one, guys, because I've got a fellow wrestling lover of the on the podcast today. Welcoming on to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast, Brutal Bob Evans. What's up, man?
Sensei, my sensei. How are you, my friend? Thank you so much for having me, man.
I'm bowing back. Yeah. I was reading your Wikipedia earlier, and I was like, 7 Ironman matches in a row. You get all the props on this show today, brother.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm going to be stupid enough to do it again sometime too. So
that's why we just keep going back to what we love. That's how it works.
Yes, man. Sir.
All right, man. So before we get started, I want to turn the mic over to you. Tell everybody about you, about your background, and what it is that you're doing online.
Well, yeah, I'm 48 years old, dad. Got 2 kids, Robbie and Katie, 14 and 12. Got a wife, Shannon, for 16 years, and I've actually been in the business for 29 years. I had my first training and match in 1992, and here we are today, and it's 29 plus years, and I'm still at it. Haven't set foot in a ring as we're taping this in over a year, but that's going to start differently soon. And just kind of kicked around the indies for a while. Did some stuff for WWF, WWE in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then got an opportunity to got a spot at Ring of Honor, a big promotion, which is now national. At the time they were regional, but they're national now, and actually worked very closely with the TV production staff and worked with a lot of people at the dojo to train some people at their tryout camps. And that's actually where I started to get a national reputation, because we had people coming in from tryout camps all over the place. And you guys have always talked about this. You and Grant especially have talked about value exchange. Well, I would go to those tryout camps. I paid for the first one. That's how I got my job. Because you pay basically for a seminar for 2 days. And then if they like you, they talk to you and ask you to keep working. And then the next 3 I drove 300 miles to Philadelphia every single time for free. Wow. And trained with them and kind of snuck in a question here and there. You know, I'd sneak in some advice. Hey, can I say something, guys? And I make sure it was like awesome advice that nobody had thought of yet, and kind of snuck it in, was very strategic about it. And eventually they said, hey, man, you're a really good trainer, you know, and they asked more about my background. I said, oh, yeah, I've run a wrestling school for 10 years. I've trained a bunch of people. I trained Mike Bennett, the guy I'm managing right now, and, you know, sent a few people to developmental contracts. So I said, and they sat with me and they said, well, do you want to train here at the tryout camps, be one of the coaches at the guest coaches at the tryout camps? And they did them probably 3-4 times a year. And I was wrestling and managing for them at the same time. So I kind of got a national reputation because people were coming in from all over the country. So eventually some of the people started saying, hey, man, do you do seminars? Do you do training camps like around the country? And I had done a lot of local stuff and regional stuff, but I had never really done the national thing. So like I said, I'm 48 now. At 41, I'm learning how to travel, and I'm learning how to get out and fly and travel and do things. And I loved it. I started jumping into it. I was still working my regular job, but I was wrestling, managing. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, training people
in 60, the business 70, every day of the week, basically.
Every day, 60, 70 times a year. And it became a nice second income for me. In 2018, I said, you know what? There's a lot of pressure on people. 26 years in, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go into wrestling full time, which sounded like a wonderful idea. For me, it was a disaster, Shane. It did not work out well for me at all. My gambling addiction had come back. I'd kicked my gambling addiction for a year. It came back. So for the next 8 or 9 months, I tried to just dismantle my whole family. I tried to dismantle everything. I found out that once wrestling was classified as a job for me, I didn't want to do it anymore. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So what happened was in February of 2019, I sat down with my wife. We prayed, we talked. I came to basically, I had to come to Jesus meeting with her for real and said, this is it. I can't do this anymore. And February 13th, 2019, again, as of this, couple of years later, spent well over 700 days gambling free again. But I went to meetings.
Congratulations, dude. That's amazing.
Thank you, awesome. Man. But my wife said, dude, this is your last shot. Like, my wife and I have been through a lot. My wife and I have been married twice. Like, it's, you know, she's the love of my life. She's my anchor. She's everything to me. And I was just screwing it up. I was I was a decent dad. I was an okay husband, and I wanted to make those things better. But I had to figure all that out. I had to kind of find a way to plug wrestling in where it made more sense. And so once I reclassified wrestling, got a job, I own my own little courier company now, and I work overnights, and I super dig it. I love it. And that helps structure me because, and you probably know this too, just because of all the people that you deal with. It's said that between 80 and 90 people in the entertainment business are ADD, ADHD. We don't do well with schedules. And I think you know what I'm talking about. So
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know you
man.
do.
I gotta have like 3 people on my team make sure I show up on time for anything, man. What are you talking about?
And I wouldn't be able to organize myself good enough to find the team in the first place. So I had to kind of restructure it. I had to kind of put wrestling back into place. Now, after saying all that, me and my tag team partner, Tim Hughes, shout out to Tim, we went out and we had our busiest year ever in 2019. We did, I think, 71 shows, did 71. I do seminar at almost every show I'm at. So I probably did 60 something seminars, but it was fun again. And I still made the same amount of money, and I was working, and I felt like I was contributing to my family. So then I kind of thought, I said, if it's always been this way, but for some reason there was some sort of pressure to jump in and do it full time. And I'm still super happy to help people to do it full time, but 95% of my audience that I'm talking to with these seminars has a job. They have a wife or a girlfriend that is mad at them because they're wrestling. It's one of the reasons why I say my website should be called How to Wrestle and Not Get Your Wife to Yell at You.
Hey, listen, the first course in the Flip Lifestyle community is how to get your spouse on board with your online business. Like, we know it's the same stuff, man. Somebody's got a dream and somebody's having to deal with the dream, right?
That's and you know that the yin to your yang is very important.
Very important.
We're the dreamers and our wives are the people that are trying to keep our feet on the ground, not necessarily squash our dreams, but keep them firmly planted, our feet firmly planted on the ground. So with all that, I had to figure out a way to communicate all this. And my wife and I are not a good example because we've been through so much, so she can read my mind. But I had to find a way to tell these young wrestlers, go figure out a way to travel. You said it perfectly, actually, when you were auditing my site. You said there's a way you can make $10,000 a year at this and take your family to Disney and still have a great life and still have a job with health insurance and all this. And I, 10 grand would be great. I have a saying, it's negative to zero, zero to some, and some to more, because 95% is stopping the bleeding, telling these guys that you don't have to be a broke wrestler. You don't have to be a broken wrestler. You said that was one of the things you liked on the site, because that's the problem. We have two extremes in this world, in the world of wrestling. You either have to beat Roman Reigns for the belt at WrestleMania, or you have to be a broke guy in the indies working someplace in, no offense, Kentucky. I've been there many times.
No offense. None taken, baby. Hey, listen, we got the Civic Center riled up every other Thursday.
Yes,
man.
sir.
We're good to go, baby.
Yes, sir. So you have to be a broke guy in Kentucky, Indiana, anywhere, Massachusetts, and kind of ignore your family and not pay your child support and be broke and sell drugs. And it doesn't have to be that way. 95% of my audience that I deal with, Shane, are good people, middle-class people. And I'm just trying to create a middle class in wrestling. That's what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to create something where
put that on the sales page, man. That's a good saying, man. And
also the fact that, I mean, you've been a fan. Well, think about it from my point of view. Every other week in the 90s and the early 2000s, I was getting a call that one of my acquaintances, friends, whatever, wasn't going to be with their family anymore. You remember all the drugs and all the stuff that was like the big reckoning in wrestling, the Chris Benoit thing. I mean, we don't have to get into it, but it's just, I don't want people to be tragedies anymore. I want people to go have wrestling, go have fun. If your wife is mad at you, then take her with you, make a little vacation out of it, make it fun, make it enjoyable. And I try to give people the tools with that. I give them ways that they can, this is going to sound like a sales pitch. I'm like, my sales coach is worried that I'm going to give him a sales pitch, but you can save money on hotels. You can sleep in comfortable beds. You don't have to be in a dive with cockroaches and stuff in it. You can eat it. You can eat at nice places, but you can save money doing this. You can save 15% flying. If you're smart enough, just use your head. And people say, well, that's a lack. That's a lack mindset. And I said, it's not a lack mindset, because they're all negative right now. They're negative, man. We got to get them, got to stop the bleeding first, get them to zero and show them, give them kind of cosmic permission that they can make money in this world. What
I love about what I was looking at your site the other day in the community, and I got it. I really did. I was like, wow, this
took you 4.5 minutes. Though.
It took me 4.5 minutes to get it, but I finally got it by the bottom of the page. But what I figured out, you said something interesting a minute ago, don't look at me because of some of this X, Y, and Z, but all of these stories, like your gambling addiction, need to be told on your site. And all of these stories about the problems in your relationships need to be told on this site, because what you are becoming is basically the wise mentor to help people avoid those problems. And the other part of it that I really like, and so what we do what we call biz op. Flipped Lifestyle is business in a box. If you come in, we're going to show you how to set up an online business. We're going to primarily monetize with memberships, and then we're going to add other things to that on the backside. And our goal is help you become and stay self-employed. But this feels more like side hustle is what the category this would go. And you're going to say, hey, look, did you have a dream to be a wrestler? Well, if you had a dream to be a football player after college, if you didn't make it, you're screwed. There's nowhere else to go. But this, you can literally go on the road. You can have fun. You can be in locker rooms. You can get the crowd to cheer for you. You can do all these things, but then you can also have a great relationship with your spouse. You can avoid the pitfalls of the wrestling business, like gambling and alcohol and sleeping in roach motels. It's a perfect pitch. There are thousands of people out there doing this. And as you can see by the response that you're getting, people are starting to step up, are starting to come into the membership. There's a definite desire for this. And a lot of people are going to benefit just from you having another. I know that in the last 10 years or so, indie wrestling is a thing to be proud of, and people love it. And they love being part-time wrestlers, and they love showing up with their mask on Saturday nights and having a great match. And then they love getting up and going to church or going to work Monday morning, right? Sunday and Monday morning. So it's just a thing that people do now. And you, as the mentor, are in perfect place to present this as, hey, let me show you how to do this. Here's the fast track. 3 months in, you're going to feel like a veteran of 3 years just from being in your membership site. And that's going to be like really, really cool. And you already have some audience, which is interesting too. So tell me this, Bob.
Sure.
Tell me, where are you at right now? Because, for everybody out there, Bob has already launched his membership. He's already got some things rolling sales page wise and stuff. Give me a good snapshot, brief snapshot of where you're at right now. And tell me like what's holding you back. Because even though, we've got your gimmick. We know what the gimmick is, right? My gimmick's membership. Your gimmick is indie wrestling, right? Part-time. Right. Tell me where you're at and what is holding you back or stopping you from moving forward, or where you're struggling right now with your online business.
I think really the thing that's holding me back, and it's the thing that I just praised, it's schedule, but I don't see it. I view that as an excuse as being held back because I'm still working on it. If I can, you said it a long time ago. This is going to sound like I'm haunting you, but I have a lot of time, like courier work. You're on the road a lot. So I've watched a lot of your old YouTube stuff. Like I just dig into it, man. And I listen to some of the other people that you've had on here as well. Like I'm diving into it because I don't want to screw this up, because one of the things that I'm guilty of is backsliding or not delivering on stuff. But one of the funniest things that I saw that made me respect you guys even more was like a lot of those YouTube videos and stuff have like technical errors or, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this thing coming up in a couple of months, and it doesn't happen right away. And it ends up happening a little bit later. And I'm right. It's your thing. It doesn't have to be necessarily, if it's supposed to be February 1st and it's February 4th, as long as everybody knows, it's okay. So that kind of a thing. So, but one of the things I am guilty of is backsliding a lot. So I really don't want to backslide on this. So I've been trying to be as consistent as I can, jump on, at least do something every day, at least, and that's why really where I am now is I've just started kind of tinkering with the 2-week free trial thing, because you and so many other people in this space have been just do it. It's going to be scary, but do it. And of course I was scared half to death like everybody else. And I got 10% of my list to convert in 5 minutes. So,
yeah, man. Yeah.
So, it went quick, and now it's kind of come to a halt. So I'm going to have to keep doing it. And I haven't launched it big. I haven't done Facebook ads or anything like that. And also the thing that I've been up against, and I don't know if this is an excuse, because I said this to you a while ago, and I think you misunderstood me in one of the questions I asked you a while ago, because I said, this is legit. I'm legitimately the first person to try to do this. I didn't mean the first person to have a membership site in wrestling. I meant the first person to try to tell people, hey guys, you can do this, and you don't necessarily have to be in WWE. There's a couple of people that are selling courses that'll be like, go to the WWE. This is how you get signed, and,
sure,
and all that. And that's fine. Actually, that guy, I used to train him. So it's actually cool. I'm happy for him. But my whole thing is, I can get you to I've gotten people to WWE. I've gotten people to Ring of Honor. Mike Kanellis, 24/7 champion, baby. That's my baby. But the thing is, Mike Kanellis is a good example of a guy who didn't necessarily work out for as like he wanted it to. So that's why I want people. It's not even a plan B. It's not a managing of expectations. It's what if they don't want you, or what?
Sure.
So where I am is I'm bumping up a little bit against people saying, well, why would I need this? Or, why, are you trying to sell me something? You're a carny wrestler, old time wrestler. Cause I'm somewhere in between the old school and the new school with wrestling. So, you're trying to sell us something. You're trying to, the whole thing that everybody else kind of goes up against, people, well, why would I want to pay for this? Or why would I want to, it's $49 a month. Oh my God, that's a lot of money. And
sure.
That might even be just in my head.
It is. I can explain it to you. Yeah, man. Like, so here's so there's a couple things I want to unpack here. Sure. First. The first one, I want to talk about the overwhelm of backsliding. I love that word, actually, of, you get your momentum going, and you trying some things, and things are happening, and then you just, you go on the road for a week and you forget about it and you lose everything and it falls apart. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Like what people I don't think understand about online business, one, you get to pick what's on the calendar. That's the most important thing, right? And you also get to pick what's not on the calendar, right? You get to say no to things, and you don't have to do everything. You just got to pick your things. Like right now, Jocelyn and I, we have a team retreat every quarter. So we're going to be meeting with our team. And Jocelyn this week and me have been planning out what we call the 12-week year. So there's a great book by Brian Moran, which shows you how to get more done in 12 weeks than most people do in 12 months. Okay. And the beauty of it is the simplicity of it. It's what you put on the calendar you want to get done. So when we look at this, right, we say there's two things that we look at. One of my catchphrases is be consistent, prolific, and relentless, right? CPR. And consistent always involves content. And we just say, what kind of content are we going to create? Well, we have two forms of content we have three for the next 12 weeks. I am going to create podcasts. I'm going to be a guest on other people's podcasts, and Jocelyn's writing blog posts. And we have a very specific focus for all 12 blog posts that she's going to write, one a week. Okay, so that's the first one. I get to pick that. Okay. The second one is prolific. That's usually in promotion. And that just means how are we going to promote our stuff every day? For us, it's always email marketing. I don't even know why we look at it anymore. It's just we're going to email our list every day. So the next thing is relentless, which is how we're going to, a lot of times that'll be follow up or how we're going to do things. But for this 12-week period, we actually picked grow the list. We're going to relentlessly spend ad money and grow the list. Okay. That's it. I picked three things, right? We podcast, we email, we're going to run some ads to grow the list. That's it. That's all that gets on our calendar. Every Clubhouse and all this other new stuff and everything else. No, negative, not doing it. It's not happening, right? We're saying no. We're cutting something from the card. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're getting rid of it, dude. Now, then we look at it like this: daily, weekly, monthly. So we say, what if that's the things we're going to focus on? What do we need to do daily? What do we need to do weekly? What do we need to do monthly? There's some other things in there like serving your members and stuff like that, which gets on that daily, weekly. Of course, monthly. Yeah. But the key is, just like you realize when you started calling wrestling a job, it got hard. When you put stuff in those categories that you don't want to do, and you just heard that it worked, or not you're afraid of it. That's a different thing. But when you start adding all these things in, you're not going to want to do it. You're going to backslide, and it's probably stuff you shouldn't have been doing anyway. So I think a really hardcore thing of, okay, what does my life actually look like? What should actually I be doing consistently, prolifically, and relentlessly? What should I actually be doing daily? What should I actually be doing weekly? And what should I actually be doing monthly? And I'll give you a hint here, guys. Put one thing in each category. When you do something like this, your business will grow because you're going to want to do it every day. You picked, it's your choice. It's on your calendar. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Again, it's the same thing. I talk to promoters all the time about drawing more attendance, and a lot of times it's inactivity. And I haven't had the problem of inactivity.
But is it the right activity?
Exactly.
That's the key.
And I'm learning so much new stuff.
It's overwhelming.
It's like overwhelming, and I want to do everything at once. And it's like,
well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What do you think you could do consistently? And when I say consistently, I'm usually talking about content or weekly. What do you think you could create consistently that would build audience in the
indie space? I've done a pretty good job of creating content. I've put out a few lead magnets, and they've been pretty popular for getting email lists. And basically, they're repurposing. I used to do and this will take some explanation because you didn't know what the heck this was when you look at my site too. You're like, I don't know what this Hangs with Bob thing is. I had a thing called Hangs with Bob Gets Better, which is the name of my seminars, because a lot of the seminars now are old guys either telling you war stories or showing you how much more they know than you.
One-man shows telling jokes, basically.
Right, which is fine, but also, or another thing where they're just saying, well, I know how to do this and you don't, so you suck, and that's not really very. So I said, hey, let's just hang out, let's just have fun, and we'll get better. Just wrestle for a little while. I'll keep coaching you as I go, and it's a little more zen with me. It doesn't mean I don't yell and scream once in a while, but it's a little more let's get in the process. Let's start wrestling, and I'll tweak you, and we'll keep
Is that in your membership or out of your membership?
That's in my membership to a certain degree. That's how everything started to roll into the Wrestle Life stuff.
Gotcha.
So now we're at a point where I have a few different podcasts that I put on, but I haven't released that many free ones. I've just put them in the site, and gotcha. I was gonna ask you about that. I know I should probably drip a few free ones out so people get a taste of it, and I'm not afraid to do that. And again, I've repurposed a lot of my stuff. I used to have stuff where I talk in the car for about 10 minutes, giving people a topic. And that's actually how I grew my audience a lot. So I would kind of talk to them and give them a little piece of advice. And then a lot of people would watch it. And that's how I got pretty popular in my space. So I've been repurposing.
Where'd you post that at? Where did you post that at?
Facebook. I'm a Facebook guy. So big time.
You ever thought about Twitter? I know wrestling Twitter's huge. You know what I'm saying?
I've done some Twitter stuff. I'm nervous because, and it's better now because I guess you can control the comments that come in. But I've had a couple of people like you and everybody else that I've had problems with people being nasty to me, and
let them be nasty. I had somebody today tell me I was in one of my ads had this ridiculous comment on it, and I just put a little smiley face on it. I actually liked it. So it was like, this is a pyramid scheme. And I'm like, what? No, I'm not. And I just smiled.
Pyramid scheme. Well, geez, man. I hate, that's not my thing, pyramid scheme. So if it was, trust me,
that's right. Exactly, man.
I tell you that it wouldn't.
Facebook's fine. Facebook's fine. And what did you say you posted on Facebook?
Well, I'd post videos, and I'd write stuff. Sometimes I do up to 4 or 5 posts a day, where I'll just put like little pieces of advice or observations or things like that. And I really try not to I don't scold people, and I don't really I don't judge people really, Mm-hmm. And the thing about the in-ring stuff is I'm really good at the in-ring stuff too. So because they start playing games saying, you're the Tony Robbins guy and all this. And I go, yeah, but I can do the in-ring stuff too. And I train trainers, so shut your mouth. So, that's kind of where. Do
you have courses on in-ring stuff?
Not in-ring stuff yet, because we haven't been able to get to a ring.
yeah, no doubt. The pandemic
pretty shut down up here.
All that up, yeah.
Eventually we will.
So the hangs with Bob. Let me go back to that real quick.
Yeah.
I'm filling this in. I'm going to have you an exact plan you should focus on here in about 5 seconds.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
The hangs with Bob, is that like a Q&A basically, where people are asking you not war stories, but like, hey, if I wanted to charge, what is it going to take for me to charge $100 a match? What is it going to do?
It's basically a reframing of coaching. I almost, because wrestling seminars are a big thing. Somebody will come in and do a wrestling seminar. Some are better, some are worse. I really try to stray away from that word, because I'm trying to create my own space, and people get it. I mean, it's real. I'm the most prolific. Speaking of prolific, I'm the most prolific wrestling seminar ever. I've done 300. So
right.
It's not an issue of me doing them.
Don't get too far away from the language people use, though. You know what I'm saying? Be clear, not clever, always. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that changed my life. That one you said the other day. So
that's right, man.
No, I get it. But it's it's basically like, it's a non-pressurized way of coaching. And when I say it, trust me, it's a seminar, so it's not a.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. So, we can you can call something like a good catchy name, and then immediately describe it. Like for example, we're launching a new program. It may be launched by the time this comes out. I don't know if it is, but it's called Flipped Lifestyle Life Groups, and these are. But the big logo thing has our logo, and then it says Life Groups, and you might think to yourself, well, what does that mean? Well, right under it is a sentence that says masterminds for family-focused entrepreneurs. It clearly defines what we mean by life. So it's hangs with Bob, live wrestling seminar and Q&A or something like that, whatever. Yeah, you could totally do that. All right. And then, all right. So let me go. Now I'm going to stop you right there. Okay. Because we could go down the rabbit hole, but watch this. You ready?
Okay. I'm watching.
Number one, your podcast should not be hidden inside your membership. They should be free. Period. Okay. Right. I haven't, whatever you've got recorded, you could probably just start releasing them one a week.
Got it.
Okay. So forget that. You're done. Take them all out of the membership. You're going to release that podcast out to the world. And we're going to repackage it as one podcast, right?
Okay.
Where it might be called Wrestle Life with Bob Evans.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
All right.
So it's named after the brand, just like Flipped Lifestyle, flippedlifestyle.com, Flipped Lifestyle Community. That's it. Wrestle Life with Bob Evans. But you can use your old content. We can release it. And all you have to do is I would cut little intros for them to bring them back up to speed. Like I'd say, hey, this is me, I'm doing this. And I gave this podcast about, I was talking to so-and-so, and just give them a little context, play the show at the end, say, go to do a little promo for WrestleLife.com.
Right.
Okay. So consistently, let's turn all those podcasts into an actual podcast called Wrestle Life with Bob Evans.
Okay.
That's free. Totally free. Now, there's one, consistency. We're just going to start rolling those out once a month or once a week. We can batch them all and just kind of schedule them too.
Okay. Got it.
2, prolific. Love what you're doing on Facebook. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep crushing it. Keep giving advice. Keep doing Facebook Lives. Do whatever you want on there. Okay. I would say this. It's probably not a great idea to post more than twice a day. Okay. The Facebook algorithm is not going to help you out if you're posting too much, because you're competing with yourself in news feeds. If you got 5 posts, Facebook's got to go, God, what do I show to these people? I can only show them 1 or 2.
All right.
So I would keep it to 2 a day, and I would focus entirely on posts that are engagement based.
Okay.
Engagement fuels engagement on Facebook. All right. So look at your posts that have the most engagement. Do that twice a day. That's cool. Okay. I love the lead magnets. Your lead magnets are great. Right now, can we get those in front of people? Right. So we need to figure out how to relentlessly get those lead magnets in front of people. That might be just some ads. It might be like, hey, let's target everybody that loves AEW, Ring of Honor, and WWE and TNA. And that's it. Those are all people that love wrestling. I bet you there's a percentage of them that would say, hey, did you know you can have a great side hustle wrestling on the weekends? We're not talking about WWE. I'm going to get to that in a second, right? But we just got to farm the wrestling community for the people who want to be indie wrestlers. Okay. All right. So that's it. So there's consistent, prolific, relentless. Bob has a podcast. Bob posts on Facebook daily, a couple times a day. Bob has some lead magnets that we're going to relentlessly push out there in front of people.
Well, a quick question about that too, because I'm getting it. I appreciate all this. I really do. I'm also really most of my marketing has been to independent wrestlers already in the business. So I've been trying to find them, and it's not as organized as people that like WWE, anything like that. Obviously, a lot of independent wrestlers are going to say they're WWE fans and all that, but I'm worried that I'm going to waste some of those dollars on I'm going to hit a lot of fans and not a lot of wrestlers. So
hold on, you are, but think about how we pan for gold. We walk up to a river. Gotcha. We don't want water. Then we stick the pan down and we pull up mud, but we don't want mud.
Right.
And then somewhere in there is the gold. And that's how ad spend works in every niche that's ever been invented, period. It's like a Pepsi billboard. Not everybody driving by that billboard loves Pepsi. Right. But the people that do like it are going to remember, oh, I need to get a Pepsi today. Right.
Got it.
So we're just panning for gold, man. Panning for gold.
Okay.
Yeah. And the goal is, look, we may spend $100 to find one customer. Then the goal is keep them for 3 months and you make 150.
There you go.
That's it, man. So it's just ROI, get panning for gold, getting people out there. And also too, there's other things that we can put in here to do stuff. Okay. All right. Now that's CPR. If you just did that every week, every day, every month, you're probably going to grow your membership. Right. And that's the things that we've identified that you're already doing. You recorded those podcasts.
Yep.
You post on Facebook. That's where you like to be. And you've already got some lead magnets you're pumped up about. There's nothing there that's going to make you backslide. You're ready.
Right.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about daily, weekly, monthly. Okay. One, here's what I would do on daily if I were you. Okay. The daily thing I would do, because you have the daily usually focuses on unfair advantage. Like my unfair advantage is I can talk for hours and hours and hours and more hours. Right.
Yep.
And I can write every minute. I've put out millions of words of content just typing emails. Okay. So I always focus on unfair advantages on the daily tasks. Like my entire team has one mission: get Shane to write emails and podcast. That's our whole mission. So your your unfair advantage is you've been on 300 seminars, you've met dozens of people, promoters, wrestlers, all these people, right? I would just say, hey, I would probably do some reach outs. I would say daily, I'm going to think, man, who do I know that could use me? Who do I know that could get me in front of people that could use me?
Right.
Who do I know that could do this? Who do I know that could do that? Right. And I would think daily of a strategy. Like maybe you sit down and you write 100 people that in the business that are a good contact or a perfect fit for your membership. Right. I'd reach out to them daily and be like, dude, I'm doing this thing. It's going to help you in your indie career. Or reach out to a promoter and be like, man, I know you got, dozens of guys wrestling for you. Could you put my name in front of them and tell them, could I send an email to them? Could you give me all the email addresses of all your wrestlers? Right. And let them, and just use your network, your experience in the business on a daily basis, but make it manageable. Right. Like I've got a list of 100 people who I've contacted with in the industry, influencers, podcasters, whatever. And I strategically wake up every day and say, all right, who do I need to text today? I haven't texted Bob in a while. I haven't texted Rick in a while. And I'm going to reach out to them and be like, hey, is there anything that I can do for you or you can do for me that we can help each other? Right. That's just a cool thing. And you sound like you like to connect with everybody in the business anyway. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I did it that organized, but I do stuff like that all the time. So
it doesn't even have to be organized. It just has to be a daily thing. Like you wake up, you pour a cup of coffee, and you look down and you start scrolling through your phone while you're drinking your coffee, and be like,
"Yep,
haven't talked to them in a while. That's awesome. Give them a call, give them a text, and think leverage. Like I would think of people that were like, hey man, you've got every friend you've got is an indie wrestler, right? You want to do a Facebook Live on your private page one night and just talk about wrestling? That's daily, right? Just reaching out for opportunities.
Right.
Weekly, I love the Hangs with Bob live seminars in your membership. I think that's a weekly thing. That's probably something you should look at doing weekly or at least bi-weekly, right? And you need to go live with the people who are paying you, right? Often enough, but that's just something you're doing anyway. You're already doing.
So is that kind of like would that kind of be like a retitling and a reframing of a member call?
Exactly. That's it. Hangs with Bob is your member call.
Even though I don't have that many members right now?
Even though you don't have that many members? Hey, I did a member call a minute ago of a thing that I joined. I paid $9,000 for it last month. Ooh. I did a member call today. There were 3 people. It was awesome. I got to talk to the main guy for like an hour for 30 minutes.
And it turned into an intimate gathering of friends, right?
It's exactly right, man. That's exactly right. So you just bring them in, and as it grows, you'll get to the point where you'll have until you get like 20 or 30 people, it's easy to manage, right? That many.
Yeah, I have 32 now, and then like I said, we just I just tried a free trial on a quote unquote trial basis, no pun intended, and I got 15 people right away.
Exactly. So now those member calls, if every single one of those people showed up, only 5 of them would ask you anything.
Right. Sure.
But the other ones would learn so much from hearing your answers, just like you come to our Q&As,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like half the time I don't even ask a question. I just listen,
That's exactly right, man.
Love to listen.
That's exactly right. And everybody else is learning from it too. But you're the only, and your unfair advantage is you can facilitate that.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And then the monthly thing, here's what I hear. The world's about to open up. You're going to get you a ring pretty soon. Yep. Tell everybody in your membership once a month, you're going to start releasing a wrestling video. Do a video on suplexes. You do that. Do a video on, top rope moves. Do a video on whatever, playing off the crowd and, things like that. Whatever you do.
Well, that's really what's needed from me the most is that third thing you said is the psychology, the wrestling psychology and the performance part of it. That's the stuff that people are screaming for because that's one of the things that they're getting yelled at by the old guys the most is that they're not putting enough emotion.
Well, they're all doing flips, and they're not doing the psychology.
Exactly.
Right? And they're losing the crowd if they don't kill themselves.
Hey, I'm in a weird position, man. I'm friends with Jim Cornette and Vince Russo. So I'm in a weird position where those guys hate each other if you guys don't know anything about wrestling. Right. Talk about diametrically opposed in psychology,
Dude, this is so bizarre. Do you know I coached Vince Russo on his membership for an hour and a half one
almost
time?
like I knew you knew that and I brought it up.
I know. Yeah, man. I did. I did an hour and a half coaching call with him back when we first started, right before he launched that the thing that he does now where he's got all of his members and stuff in there. It was so, that was weird, man. That was like surreal. Like, you authored like 10 years of my life basically.
And the thing is, he probably asked you more questions about you than you asked about him. Cause that's what Vince does.
It was legit. It was like one of the greatest moments. It was one of the most fulfilling things ever to be able to serve a guy that had given me so much.
Yeah.
On the television, dude.
He's the man. Yeah. He's good. Vince is a good guy. And Jimmy gave me my shot in Ring of Honor. So I'm loyal to both of them.
That's how it works sometimes, man. Hey, so listen to this. Yes. You've got CPR. I'm going to roll out all these podcasts I've already got recorded. I'm going to post on Facebook twice a day. And I got these lead magnets. I need to get them in front of people.
Yep.
Hey, daily, I'm going to reach out to somebody. I'm going to reach out to Cornette. I'm going to reach out to Russo. I'm going to reach out to somebody, right? And say, hey, I got this thing. Can you help me help indie wrestlers? That's all you got to say. And then how do I help you? What can I do for you? Ask them to come on your podcast.
That's extra stupid. That's extra stupid. Sorry, excuse me. But that's extra stupid too, because one of my former students, Taylor Hendricks, she actually has a show on Vince's
network. Yeah.
Network too. So yeah.
Dude, get on their shows. They'd say, hey, can you bring me on? And I'll tell these people and I'll give a free trial to everybody. I'll give a free trial to everybody in your audience.
Yep.
And you just let it out there. Hangs with Bob's bi-weekly or weekly. They don't have to be weekly, but weekly's good. You can hang out with your members. And you just get a set time. Like, hey, Monday at noon, we hang out. That's what we do. Right. And then going forward, don't kill yourself on content, but say, hey, every month I'm going to add to the member area a video of in-ring and psychology. So basically you'll get in the ring and you'll say, okay, today, we're going to learn how to do
going to learn how to be a good heel today.
Yeah, there you go. And then I would do the psychology stuff like this, face to camera. Like I would be like, hey, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this. If I was in the ring, I'd do that. And I'd have a conversational tone with those. Right. And then I would be in the ring and teach a move, because that way you catch the move set people with the whatever.
Absolutely.
You know,
sure.
But I always focus your moves, like how not to hurt your opponent. And
absolutely.
All that good stuff.
Of course.
But dude, that's it. Consistent, prolific, relentless, daily, weekly, monthly, constantly, every minute of every day, growing your membership, doing the exact 6 things you love to do and never cause a problem. Don't do nothing else. That's it. That's your whole business, man. And like, that's exactly what we do. And that's why we grow, is because we say no to all the other things. We only focus on things we love to do. Everybody's in flow. Everybody's happy. And it never feels like work. Never feels like
when I do a lot of seminars, I work with a lot of guys that are like 3 to 6 months in. And they'll say, hey, can you watch, sometimes on a show after I do a seminar, they'll say, hey, man, can you watch my match tonight and kind of look at it and all that? And I swear 75% of the time I say, you're doing fine. You're just doing young guy stuff. Yeah. Sometimes I'm a little salty with my language, but I'm like, yeah, you're just doing young guy stuff.
Dude, have them in your membership. Just like you posted your sales page the other day, man, I was sitting here just drinking a root beer and I said, I'm going to turn on the camera. 10 minutes, went through your thing. Like matches are 10, 20 minutes usually, like probably at those indie shows, maybe longer for Ironman and stuff like that.
We do one with a guy where we watch his match in the site and we break it down. Like,
dude, let every member upload their matches and grab one a month and just go over it with them. Yeah. And that's a service for your members, man.
So what I'm saying is I think I'm the new guy in this scenario, because I feel like that I just needed to be reminded of the fact that I don't have to have all the answers in 90 days because I'm 90 days in.
You need you need these 6 answers.
Right.
You need free podcasts twice a day on Facebook, focus on your lead magnets, daily reach outs to people who can put you in front of indie wrestlers, hangs with Bob's, and one new course a month. And in a year, you're going to have 12 amazing videos and 12 amazing psychology courses inside your growing membership site. You've already got 30-something people that have signed up, said they want it. And just do that for the rest of this year. Like, do those 6 things.
Do I go nuts on the free trial stuff? Because
I would, man. Let everybody see how valuable it is. And you're okay. Now here's question 2.
Because it's crazy good. Everybody's been giving me great feedback.
Crazy good, right? So what we got to do is we have to do what's called justifying value, to the correct avatar. Okay. So sales language, here's how this works. Let's go back to your other question of, man, I know there's people that are trying to get people to WWE and all that stuff. And, but that's like trying to get people to go to the NFL,
right?
But I know people that make a whole lot of money helping people to get to college, and I know a whole lot of other people that just help people be good college football players. But do you know who makes more money, or do you know what makes more money in the football industry than anything else?
What's that?
Youth football coaching,
there you go.
Tips and resources. That's what makes the most money, because it's so many people that need so many fundamentals and so many basics. You got all these dads out there coaching and stuff like that. Like, those are the videos that sell like crazy. Like, yeah, the high school guys are going to buy the 4-3 defense, but everybody's buying a video on tackling. Everybody, right? And so what you got to do is you just have to say overtly, hey, look, if you want to go to the WWE, I ain't your guy. I'm not your guy. If you want to have a great indie career and a great family, and you want to live your dream and you want to pursue your passion and you want to do this regularly for money, I'm your guy. And you draw the line, and it's okay. Some people will emerge as talent, right? And you can still use your WWE guys as, wow, this guy's good. Like, for example, I just had one of our members, we're about to have him on the podcast. He sold his membership for $2 million, right? And like, there's always going to be people like that emerge. But my avatar, look at this shirt I'm wearing. All you need is 100 people to pay you $50 a month to make $60,000 a year, or go get you 200 to make 120. I want people that want to make a full-time living online and pick their kids up off the school bus every day. Right. That's who I talk to, right? And that's who you talk to. And you just overtly say that in your language, and you draw the line, and you tell, if the guy comes and he goes, I got a dream to be a WWE guy, say, well, that's going to take you about 5 or 6 years, and you may be talented, but I need to make sure you don't go broke.
Or 20.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to make sure you don't go broke, get on drugs, have a gambling problem, or divorce your wife while you're chasing your WWE dream.
Right.
And you just zero in on that, man. Embrace it. Be that guy. And don't try to even compete with the other people.
I'm kind of that guy anyway, so it works out.
That's right, man.
And I think I've been about 80% in on that, but I don't know why, because I'm arguing with myself inside my head, because I'm saying, well, if you're trying to tell me that 95% of your audience shouldn't really even be looking at WWE right now. Why are you trying to say, well, I'll help you get to the WWE?
You're not, you shouldn't say that. You should. Yeah. It's like for me, when I first started my football coaching business back in 2012, I mean, I was an okay high school coach. I'd never been a head coach to go to a state championship. I was 0-10 my first year as a coach, but I went 0-10, 2-8, 3-7, 5-6, made it to the playoffs, 8-2. And I learned how to win football games with kids that couldn't throw, couldn't run, and couldn't tackle. Now, I hate to say this, but most football coaches are coaching kids that can't block, can't run, can't tackle. So I found an audience, and I didn't even try to say win a state championship. I said, I can help you go home happy more Friday nights than not. I'll get you to 6-5.
And that's what got me to buy your membership. That's you were on Nick Loper show, and that's what that little paragraph right there. Because I was sitting there and I'm like, this guy is me from his space.
Exactly. I was you in football is all I was.
Right. Well, but even with the another thing I like too, doesn't sound like I'm kissing up to you, but man, it's just like I said, I'm so grateful for it. You sat here and you said the gurus are you say it in the class and you say it everywhere, but the gurus are going to tell you this. Ignore it. It's just sales talk. They just want you to buy their stuff.
Yep.
This is what's really going on.
That's that no sugar bluntness I always talk
exactly
about. You got to tell people how it is.
It's out of love, not hate. And like I said, everything you guys say, I can tell it's coming from a place of love and that you're not trying to hold anything over anybody.
That's right, man.
And I remember telling you something about, what about giving the stuff away for free? It's like I give away tons of stuff for free, but they still don't have me. And that's the thing. Mike from Membership Guys says something similar where he goes, they may be able to buy your content, but they can't buy your point of view. So
that's exactly right.
So that's
and your point of view, like for example, like say somebody, I don't know, say Christian or Edge or somebody wanted to, or Sting wanted to do this.
Right.
He's not going to be able to tell people correctly how to do this. Right. Michael Jordan can't teach my son what he needs to know about basketball. I always used to laugh because I went to this clinic one time. I used to coach college football, and I would get to go to these clinics. And our coach, I always had to make presentations for our coach to get up on stage. Sure. And I remember one year, I will never forget this. Right before my head coach was like Nick Saban.
Yeah.
And I knew what our coach was about to talk about. He's about to talk about one back run plays, which are impossible to run if you don't have good kids. And then Nick Saban was like, this defense works every time, blah, blah, blah. He did this. And I'm sitting there looking at this, and all these people are taking notes. And I was like, that worked because your 3 technique was 400 pounds and runs faster than our running back, Nick Saban. So I'm sorry. It may work for you, but that is not what the people need, right? And you can give the people what they need more than even those guys ever could, because it's just a different animal perspective or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny that you mentioned Edge and Christian, because Edge and Christian wouldn't do this. But I actually have a testimonial from Edge and Christian's coach, Ron Hutchinson, who did coach Trish Stratus, Gail Kim.
Oh yeah,
he's like the unsung hero of Canadian wrestling, and Ron's a hell of a guy. But Ron discovered me first and said way more nice things than I had said about him, because I didn't even know him at the time. I knew who he was, and then we met a few times. We become friends and talk.
Go interview that guy. Get him to say a bunch of nice things about you, and then snip him for testimonials.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
But so what we've established here. Here's let's circle back around and come up with a game plan for next steps. Okay.
Sure.
Number 1, embrace your avatar. Everybody listening to this podcast for the rest of your life, embrace your avatar and embrace the result that you deliver for that avatar. I had someone one time bash me because I said, man, it would be awesome. And I was on a post and I was talking in this discussion group, and I said, I'd love to help people get to $60,000. I think that's a full-time median income. Who would only want to make 60 grand? Who would want, that's not successful.
The lack mentality.
Yeah, man, I'm going to go for the Lambo and the blah, 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 blah. And I said, no, dude, that's not true. So embrace your avatar, embrace the result you provide. Mine's on my shirt right now.
Yeah.
I embrace this avatar. Embrace the least amount of things you need to do that you love. Consistent, prolific, relentless, daily, weekly, monthly. That's it. That's the whole business. And then go out and change people's lives. You're changing people's lives. This is not a business where you're teaching wrestling. This is not a business where you're teaching people how to do this, that, and the other. You are literally saying, you're going to get to chase your passion and do what you love and have your family and keep your job and make some money and provide great opportunities and have a lot of fun. Embrace all that and put that out there in front of everybody. And you're already seeing the fruit. You're seeing 30, 15, you're getting more and more members.
Right.
Let's just go create more opportunities for that, dude. And you're good to go.
And go nuts with the free trial.
Go nuts with the free trial. When I say consistent, like on the podcast, pitch the free trial. When I say daily, reach out to your people. Think of how to get opportunities to tell more people about your free trial. And then, I got one more thing I got to tell you.
Absolutely. Right.
When you come back in, now circle back around, time and money. The value proposition that you're giving people is this. Okay. Hey, look, you could go out and make $50 a weekend. Okay. Or you can join my membership. And I'll show you how to make $200 a weekend. Like that one guy who had $800 on your life. Now, would it not be worth trading $49 for an extra $700 a month? Sure, it would be a no-brainer, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, you can spend all your time trying to book matches and stay in the wrong hotels and do all this. And you're going to spend 20 hours a week to wrestle for 20 minutes. Right. That's ridiculous. Or you could join my membership and I'll show you the railroad track and you'll only spend 2 to 3 hours a week booking all your matches and doing those things. So I'm going to save you like 20 hours a week. What do you make at your job per hour? Times that by 20. Is that not worth $49 a week to save all that time and save all that money? Like the only thing you should ever do in your business to value for your value stuff is how do you save on time? How do you save on money? How do you get on the result faster than doing it alone? That's the only 3 things you need to worry about. And your pitch, it's built in. It's just the modules and the training on how to negotiate for more money at the match will make people double what they pay you every single month. And once you do that for somebody once, I'd make that your first thing, like how to negotiate your next pay raise at your match. That's the first thing you do when you come in my community for the free trial, and let them go get an extra $100 what they're getting paid now. And then they'll come back and go, I doubled my money on this membership. What's next? Bob? That's all you got to do. Okay.
Perfect.
Good deal, man. All right, let's wrap this up. Give me I always look at next steps and what people are really thinking about. I want to make sure that, we're aligned and we're ready to move forward. So what do you think you're going to work on in the next 24 hours or a week or so to really take action and move your business forward?
Well, I gotta finish cleaning up my site, because as we tape this, you sent me a beautiful 12-minute message on how to, and taught me more in 12 minutes than I had in a year of putting websites together. So
that's a testimonial. I'm pulling it out of the podcast.
Write it down. I'm a testimonial machine.
That's right.
But yeah, please, again, I can't thank you enough for that. But so I still have to work on that. I still got to add a few things, but I sent it to a couple people already, and they're like, because I haven't put it live yet, and they're like, dude, this is so much cleaner. It's just you. And then and next steps would be, I'm going to have to record a video telling my story, even if it's difficult. But every podcast I go on, I tell my story, and then I get a member out of it. So again, I don't know why I say I'm listening to you, but I'm not always doing what you tell me. So that would be the next step. And then push the heck out of the free trial. And then in another couple of weeks, as we're doing this, late April is my first live Hangs with Bob seminar again. I'm doing 2 in Kansas. I'm doing 1 in North Carolina the next day. And then in June, I'm doing 1 in Denver. So I probably average about 3-4 a month. And that'll definitely boost things up too, because one of my friends
have a flyer with wrestlelife.com/free.
Yep.
And give it to everybody that comes and watch that membership explode.
Exactly. And I also am going to have people fill out a thing, so I have all their information too. And, because a waiver, you do a waiver and all that. So I'm going to have that too. So there'll be a lot of places to contact them. And I'm going to
pick up 5 or 6 members every single seminar.
Just start pushing the free trial. And I think I'll be fine. Cause like I said, the stuff's good. So it's just a question of getting in front of enough people, man. So I really appreciate your time today. So
awesome. Listen, man, hey, I appreciate you, dude. I want to thank you real quick for coming on the show, especially a guy like you that's got a lot of people looking up to him to come on here and be transparent and vulnerable. Listen, a lot of people are going to listen to this and they're going to get a lot of value, and they're going to go home and change their sales pages. They're going to figure out their CPR and DWMs, and they're going to figure out their avatar, and they're going to figure all that out. And it's because you asked the good questions, man.
Can I say one more quick thing?
Go ahead.
This is another testimonial. I literally am one of the people in my space that's an authority. So I know when authorities are authorities. So it's interesting for me. I told you this before we went on the air, that it's kind of fun to be kind of ignorant and stupid again and mess up and kind of fix things and have people that are above you, but take the advice. It's good advice. It's legitimate. And also, like, don't be afraid to mess up. I've done my front page about 8 different times, and I'm sure I'll be doing it another 8 different times and 20 different times. Who knows? And I'll just keep tinkering with it, but put it out there. One of the things that you said right away was, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough for now.
That's right.
And that's one of the things I did. Like, I put it out and I got a lot of response on it. And I didn't want to just wait until the time was right, because the time's never right. So get it out there, push it out there, get it done. And it'll never be done, but get it started, and then it'll eventually be done, and hopefully I'll be coming back on here, and I'll be in Membership Masters, and telling
That's
my
what
story.
I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. The Membership Masters is my WrestleMania. When you come back, we'll put you on pay-per-view.
The big show,
baby. All right, guys, that wraps up my interview with Brutal Bob Evans. Man, I had a blast talking to Bob. What a great guy. He's doing an amazing job, and he's really out there taking his God-given talents, experiences, and wisdom, all the lessons that he has learned through his wrestling career and on the road, and he's packaging that together so that he can go out and mentor other people to help them avoid mistakes and help them do and chase the dreams that they have, and without having to make all those mistakes that he did. And man, that's an amazing thing. There's nothing like a membership site to go out and have impact on other people and the world. And it just so happens you can make a lot of money while you do it. We'd love to help you start an online business. We'd love to help you build out a membership site too inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. Remember, all you need is 100 people to pay you $50 a month, and you'll make $60,000 a year. That could replace your income and help you go full-time online. Or heck, if you want to go out and make 6 figures, you only need 200 people paying you $50 a month, and you'll make $120,000 a year. That's a great living and can create a great future for your family, and it is all possible through online business. We'd love to help you start, build, and grow and launch your online business inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. All you have to do is go to flippedlifestyle.com. That's FLIPPED lifestyle.com/free. And you can start a 30-day trial inside the community today. You can check out all of our courses. You can find your idea. You can research your idea. You can get your product ready. All of our courses are available to you right now for 30 days for free. And just like Bob, we can show you how to create your sales page. We can show you how to start your business, launch your business. We can show you how to get it out there and get your members. Bob is almost to 40 members. Imagine 40 people paying you $50 a month. That's like $2,000 a month. Who wouldn't want a $2,000 a month pay raise right now? That's what we help you do inside the community. So go try it out. Come on inside, kick the tires. We got nothing to hide. Heck, we want you to come look at everything. We want you to take all of our courses. We want you to come into the forums and ask questions. We want you to hang out with us on member calls. My wife, Jocelyn, and I have dedicated our lives to helping real families start, build, and grow online businesses and change their family's future. And we do that inside the community. We would love to have you in there today. All right, y'all, we're about out of time today. I want to share a couple more things with you real quick. I've got an amazing Bible verse that I'd love to share with you guys that I think is going to really drive home my conversation with Bob today. But I also want to share with you a can't miss moment. This is a moment that, I may not have gotten to experience if I hadn't have started my online business, if I had not became and stayed self-employed, if I had not flipped my life and changed my family's future. Jocelyn and I are always so thankful and appreciative when we recognize these blessings and these moments in our lives. And I share can't miss moments with you so that you can be inspired to do the same for you and your family. My can't miss moment this week is screwing up my schedule, which I do a lot. And it reminded me of this can't miss moment when I was talking to Bob a few minutes ago. My daughter is an elite cheerleader. She goes in these cheerleading competitions, and every single week we're traveling all over the world, all over America to get to these competitions. And we have one this week in Tennessee, but I had totally forgotten that we were going to this thing. So I scheduled a bunch of stuff on Friday. I had appointments. I had all this stuff I thought I was going to do. And Jocelyn came up to me and said, we're driving during all of this, right? And I'm like, where are we going? I told you people, I got to have 3 or 4 people at all times watching my schedule to make sure I don't mess it up. So anyway, it was really cool. I just told my assistant, I said, cancel everything. I got to go. And it was just awesome to be able to have the freedom to do that. We had the freedom to just say, clear the schedule, to have the freedom to just go with my daughter and enjoy the weekend with her and my wife and my son. And, when I was working that 9 to 5, when I was a school teacher, or heck, when I was coaching football, man, I just couldn't cancel anything. I had to be there all the time. Everything revolved around me. And even though a lot of the business revolves around me right now, I can still say no. I can still say I'm going somewhere else. I can still say I'm doing something else. I can say no to all that stuff and yes to this stuff. And if I mess up the schedule, I can make it right. So that's my can't miss moment this week, is being able to just say, hey, I control every minute of my day. And even when I say I'm going to do something else, I have the power to change it. That's pretty cool. I know that would not be possible without my online business. All right, guys, before I go, got a Bible verse. A lot of inspiration and motivation that Jocelyn and I have in our life comes from the Bible, comes from the Word of God. And I've got an awesome Bible verse for you today. Today's Bible verse is from Proverbs chapter 16, verse 16. And it says, how much better to get wisdom than gold. To get understanding is to be chosen rather than silver. And as I was talking to Bob, I started thinking about this Bible verse. Man, that's what we do as online business owners. That's what we do as leaders of membership communities. We are throwing out gold. We're taking all the wisdom that we've accumulated. We're monetizing it with a membership. We're just throwing gold bars out to all of our members, just giving them all that wisdom that we've gotten over the years. And we're just showering all of our members with silver. We're giving them the knowledge. We're giving them the understanding they need to get the result they want quicker and easier than they could without us. Yes, we get to make a lot of money. Yes, we get to do all those things when we have a business online. But we also get to throw out the silver, throw out the gold, and throw out the stones and watch it ripple out and impact people all over the world. So that's what I want you to do this week. I want you to go out and start, build, launch, and grow your online business. I want you to scale it and take it to the next level. Shower your members with gold and wisdom. Shower your people with silver and knowledge and understanding. Change your family's future and leave your footprint on the world. I can't wait to see you back here next time. Until then, get out there, take action, do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.
What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excited to talk to you today. We'll try to keep this to business and not dig too far into the wrestling world.
Exactly.
One more thing before we go. Thank you so much for listening to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. If you love the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, if we bring a little joy and a little happiness and we bring some knowledge into your life every single week, could you do us a favor? Go to Apple Podcast and hit subscribe. Download a few of the podcast episodes onto your phone. Apple's algorithm loves seeing downloads and it loves seeing those subscribes. And please leave us an honest review over on Apple Podcast. That'll help us grow the show, expand the mission, and reach more people so that we can help them change their family's future as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.